Classroom management in kindergarten is very unique. These students are still so young and they are still developing essential social, emotional, and self-regulation skills, unlike the older students that you may have had. In this video, I will give you my best tips for substitute teaching in kindergarten. You might want to grab your coffee because you will need it. Okay, so the first tip that I have is set the tone early with the students. Greet them warmly and introduce yourself, and make sure that you have enthusiasm when you are introducing yourself and talking to the students. You can use simple visual cues with them just to grab their attention, and establish basic expectations with them, and just make sure that it is clear and you have positive language. Of course, I know that you would have positive language. It's just important to put that in there. Next is attention grabbers. Now, it is important to know that teachers may even put what works for them in their lesson plans for you, so that way you can use the same thing that they do as well. Here are some, just in case you want some to go off of. Excuse me, my earring. You can do something like 1, 2, 3, eyes on me, especially if they are not paying attention and talking a lot. One that I always used with kindergarten when I was a phys ed teacher is to marshmallow mouth. I would say that in the beginning, state my expectations, and I would say to them, okay, when I am talking or our friends are talking, I want everyone to put their marshmallow in their mouth. Okay, this is marshmallow mouth, and that's how we're gonna walk in the halls today. And if anyone else is talking, we put our marshmallow in and we have our listening ears on. You could teach a simple hand clapping pattern or hand signal. So the school that the school that I teach at does like bathroom is this or that. I think it's this. And then clapping, you could do something like, if you can hear me, clap 3 times. And they do the clapping 3 times, something along those lines. Make sure with that you leverage fun voices so that you regain their focus. So again, with the attention getters, visual cues, whatever you're doing to get their attention, that you look in the lesson plan, because the teacher may have that for you. Just a reminder again. Transitions, keep them smooth. Before transitions, how many times can I say the word transitions? But before that, make sure that you give clear instructions so that helps them move on to the next thing. You could do like chants, use songs, visual cues, anything to help the students guide to the next activity. Now, this is, again, a reminder, this may be in the lesson plan. So make sure that you read it thoroughly so that you understand what the teacher uses if it works well for them. You can also have a backup one, of course. Managing behavior, make sure that you manage the behavior positively. One thing that really works in kindergarten is, wow, Alexa, you were standing so nicely by the door, hands are by your side, you have marshmallow in your mouth, and you are ready to go. Next thing you know, you see the kids do it. You know, they're excited because they want to be praised as well. So when you use that, that helps really well, and it works in everything. Wow, Connor, thank you so much for having your math book out. You already have the page that I needed you to open to. Thank you so much for listening to directions. And you'll see the other kids like, I didn't do that. And they'll do it. So keep that in mind. Definitely use reward systems. Stickers are lovely, especially the scratch and sniff. I said that so weird, especially the scratch and sniff. You could do a mystery box, tally marks on the whiteboard. A mystery student may work. They might be a little young for that, especially if it's like you pick one student and then the rest of them might be a little bit like, oh, I didn't win. But use your judgment on that. Make sure when the behaviors are negative that you redirect instead of punish. So never ever punish a kid for doing whatever it is, talking out loud, tattling, or whatever. Just make sure that you redirect instead. So that would be example as, okay, I need you to go back to your seat, okay? And like maybe just not push them, but like guide them with their back to their seat, and then ask them, do you need any help with anything? You know, just being kind and takes a lot of patience. Okay. And modeling the behavior that you want to see. That's why, again, it's important when you say, Alexa did very well sitting crisscross applesauce on the carpet, and then they all do it. Handling the challenging ones. So what to do if students don't listen? What I've done before is, if they're not listening to 1, 2, 3, eyes on me, or marshmallow mouth, or whatever, I take a moment and I just look at them and breathe. And then we just have a moment of like, let's just redirect. They seem to be very in tune with your behavior. So if they can see that you're getting tense and you're getting mad, they're gonna kind of be, so just be patient. Well, one thing that you can start doing, and I've seen and talked to a lot of other substitute teachers who have been doing this with the kindergarten, is when you're having a hard time getting their attention, you can, of course, like stand up there with that teacher look, and then you can have a 3-minute talk about being kind and like being good listeners with their ears, just having a lesson about that. Because being in school for every grade, it's a learning experience for them, and they're learning how to be good humans. So there's there's never anything wrong with you just taking a few minutes out of the day to talk about kindness, to talk about how we wait when it's our turn to talk and things like that. How to manage tattling without losing your mind. Okay, so my secret that I did, it's not really a secret, but anyways, when I was teaching and I had kindergarten, even first grade, early elementary is very tough, but one thing that I would do is I would tell the class, in my expectations, I would say, well, you're not tattling. And it's really hard to say that because at their age, I don't think that's a development thing, I would assume. But what I would say to them is, so a little kid would come up to me and say, hey, so-and-so took the orange crayon when I wanted it. Well, what I would say to them is like kind of redirect it back to them. So I would say, did she hurt you? Did she hurt anyone else? And they're like, no. I'm like, did it hurt your feelings? Yes. Okay. Well, were you using that crayon at all? No, but I wanted to, or I want to use it. Okay, well, let's go and have a communication. Well, I wouldn't say that to them, but I would say, okay, let's go talk to Sarah. Okay. And I would say, oh, is this the crayon that you want next? And then, Sarah, after you're done, do you mind handing that to Cameron? And like starting that, just putting that question back in their head, like, did I get hurt? Is someone getting hurt? Kind of redirects them like, oh, maybe I don't need to tell on what happened. And it's also a good way to know if someone is getting hurt. Then you could talk to them and the other student with it. It's also just another thing that a lot of teachers are adding in. And you could ask the teacher on this, or they might even have it in their lesson plan, but they have a tattle phone, which is like so fun. And the kids go up to it, and then you'll hear it at the end of the day, and they're hilarious. Like, so-and-so like tapped their pencil 10 times, or so-and-so did calendar wrong. And you're like, okay. And they'll just forget about it for the next day. But that's another technique that kindergarten teachers are starting to use. That way it's like they're not hearing it 24/7. You can't do anything when it's like, Mrs., so-and-so does this. And you're like, oh my God, just stop talking, please. So that's understandable. I've been there too. I'm like, having a backup plan. So with kindergarten, you can bring a few fun things if you would like to, like no prep activities. You can definitely bring in like a story that you would like to read if you have extra time. One thing with that nowadays, it's 2025, and I'm not someone that really agrees with this, but just be careful about the stories you bring in, because they're doing the story ban, the book bans, and if there's something in it that you don't see wrong, someone else will, especially if there's an aide and they know. So just be careful with story time. If you want to, just grab it from the teacher's classroom. That way you know that you won't like get tattled on. Simple games. You can do something like Simon Says or 7-Up. Remember 7-Up? I loved that game, except I was the cheater. I always had to look at the person's shoes. Not a good idea. You can keep extra coloring sheets with you, even Play-Doh on hand. That could be for downtime as well. And just make sure you know how to improvise if the directions are not clear to you on what the students should do. And I don't want to put it about me, but I did have that happen to me where the directions weren't clear. And the teacher was actually in the room when she was leaving. So I was like that floater. She was going to an IEP meeting and she had 14 sheets out. Literally, I think it was like 12 to 14 sheets. She was like, hey, here's all the sheets that they have to do. Well, here, she didn't tell me that there was a lesson plan on her desk. I just went off of what she said because I was in the room and it was probably going to be 30 minutes. Well, here I was like, okay, here's this sheet. Get it done, get it done, get it done. Here's this one, get it done, get it done, get it done. Here's this one, get it done, get it done. And the students were like, oh my God, but I didn't put my name on it. And I was like, your teacher needs it to be done. So she comes in and she goes, how was it? And I was like, well, like they were really stressed because I had them work on the sheets. She goes, that was for extra time. And I was like, you didn't say. Well, I guess I could have asked that and I didn't. I just assumed that she wanted me to get them all done and I thought I was doing it correctly. So if you have anything, if something's not clear, any questions, someone will know the answer to your question. So always, always ask. And if you make a mistake, you are human. Give yourself grace. So a lot was covered in this video. Comes with kindergarten, right? A lot happens in kindergarten. Kinders can be so exhausting, but they are so adorable, so cute and fun. And I'm sure that you have hilarious stories to tell when you are in kindergarten class. Just remember to have fun. Set those clear expectations for the students at the beginning of a class. Have your attention grabbers ready and just redirect the behavior. Here is a video for more depth in elementary class management, and I will see you there.